Hi there, everyone. This is Joseph Lucier for our weekly Tongren session. So for those of you that are not familiar with Tongren, it is a distance healing technique where people put in their requests and we connect to their requests through the collective unconscious and through our reading of the actual online requests to do a healing session. So let's see. We want to begin with our three-part process. Remember, we teach Tongren level 1 and level 2. We also teach. We also have an online community where you get videos, you get research, you get libraries of information and products that can support your therapies and your practitioner stuff as well. And anything that you might need. Is everybody here familiar with the actual Tongren community itself? But let's begin with our goal for today. Start right away with interesting newbie. And hello, Rachel, as well. So we do blood flow to the brain and brain. So we work on blood flow, nerve flow, blood flow to the brain. And we're going to work on. Yes, Edna, I got your message. You got the respiratory device and sent an email. Okay. Please tap also for weak left arm. So we did blood flow to the brain command points. Send the nerve flow to weak left arm, which would be the source, would be the brachial plexus. Left arm, so the ouch point, a fancy point that we call it. And inflammation, T1 to T8. T1 to T8 also for MS. So put in the chat for people if you're familiar with methylene blue. Yawning is not uncommon. Blood flow to the brain. Angelic lights. And vertigo, GV17. So for vertigo, try to retrain your brain, left and right hemispheres. Qigong, yoga, respiratory strength. Let's work on CV17. vagus nerve, phrenic nerve to the diaphragm. Liver 3 and kidney 1. Okay, great. Let's just take a quick roam around the area. Rachel, can we see where you are tapping? Good point. So I will sit back. Not coming through on Facebook. Yes, Tongren Station was pulled down. Ladies and gentlemen, you don't want anybody to see anybody doing anything to help anybody feel better. Wow. Can't have that. So anyway, Rachel, that looks like Rachel from Connecticut, I think. Another Rachel. So we have two Rachels. Presuming the Rachel, yep, the Rachel, I know that Rachel, I know both. Okay, so let's work for Happy Mama, Chi for Perfect Blood, and also for Rachel on Facebook, Ease of Breathing. Yes, let's really focus on that a lot. Blood flow to the brain. Rachel, I'm sorry to hear your mom passed. It's such a complicated system, and it's so, in many ways, uncaring. It's a big loss. You'll get through it, Rachel, but it's a change. You don't get over it, you just get different. Blood flow to the brain. Perfect blood. Brain command points, brain stem command points, and T1 for Happy Mama. And remember, Rachel, your mom's never totally gone. She's always with you, just in a different way. And we will all tap for Rachel for grief as well, for the loss of her mom. As she says, you were attached at the hip and always together, and you still are. The love that you built doesn't just disappear when she leaves. It's still there between you. T1 to T8 for MS for your aunt. I've seen data on MS and methylene blue, so that's an option to think about. lymph. So 2 main points for Happy Mama. So T3 for the lymph, T7 for the spleen, a lymph node. And more for perfect blood, GB39, opposite of spleen 6. And grounding, T1 to T8 for a strong immune system as well for Happy Mama. And GB13 for Lara for calm, worry-free mind. Balanced hormones. I just did a points to ponder video on the community library for the endocrine system. That includes GB20 and 22. And abundance, C1, 2, and 3, and the in-tongue, third eye, the source of all abundance, connecting to our true selves. And grounding, very important for abundance, being grounded, confident, self-assured. You will attract what you want. Think in terms of abundance. Woohoo! How's everybody doing? Let me hear from you guys. It's quiet out there. Really quiet. Okay, so let's take a jump over to the page. So basically right now we are broadcasting at YouTube, YouTube, Tongren Academy, Anusar Wellness, social media, and the website. So that's 4 places. And I think we used to be anyway, well, not anymore. We used to be broadcasting from Tongren Station, but Tongren Station is been shut down. They had to start all over. They lost all that content. 100%. I don't know what happened. Oh, maybe I do. So everybody can see me okay? I hope. Yep. Thank you for reminding me. I appreciate that. So let's do more breathing. So compare yesterday to today. RJ, how was your day? And now I guess I'm stuck. I have to rhyme everything. Quantum healing. So for all eye issues, and we'll get to you in a moment, Catherine, there's a brilliant company I finally decided on, Ethos Vision ethosvision.com. They're based in the UK, but they also have distribution in the US. Two-part process. One is specific for macular degeneration, herbal remedy, and number two is what they call, I forget, it's like a total eye support. So one is the drops, one is an herb. The two-part process would be really good for you. Edema and gallstones. So edema, reduce your fat, but your day-to-day didn't rhyme with A. Wait a minute. Stable. Compared to yesterday, was yesterday stable, less stable, or more stable? Blood flow to the brain. So let's do a complete breathing workup. Sky window. Lung 1, lung 2, and CV17. T3 for the lungs, for Rachel. And grounding liver 3 and kidney 1. So let's work on macular degeneration, edema, and gallstones. Thank you for the update, Rachel. I appreciate that. So let's work for Catherine and all eye issues for others as well. Ferris's mom, many others. So blood flow to the brain command points, brain stem command points, including the visual cortex. Let's see 1, 2, and 3 for the eyes. Facial artery. For macular degeneration and the eye ouch points. For edema. Did they find a cause for that? That's for the eyes. Sometimes we can certainly say so much for freedom of speech. I've only been censored once on YouTube, maybe twice. Have stuff pulled down. So let's work on edema. So lymph flow, T3 for the lymph, T7 for the lymph. And lymph drainage, sky window. Axillary lymph, inguinal lymph. Gallstones. Consider a liver gallbladder cleanse, Catherine. At least castor pack on the liver. From a Tongren perspective, T9 and 10. Do people here go to Tongren Practitioners United and Tongren Healing, those Facebook pages as well, you guys? So let's continue on. Chris D. Tap for endometrial, peritoneal, liver cancer with ascites. So let me know the cause of the ascites. Sometimes that's a liver issue. Small airway disease, postnasal drip, low blood pressure. So let's offer blessings for Rachel on Instagram, passing of her mom. It's so difficult, feeling so helpless. But they're moving on, and it's not a negative thing, it's a positive thing for them. And embrace that. She's with you forever. Blood flow to the brain. Tracy from Connecticut. Yep. Genetic rickets, T1 for the bones. Focus on meditation that works with epigenetics to reprogram those genes. Left kidney stone, definitely castor oil packs with pokeweed or frankincense. Leave it on overnight. Gallstones, kidney stones. There's something called the Stone Breaker Herbal Remedy. Yes, that's the name. Because it has one of those famous stone breaking herbs. I forget the name of it. Pancha Dharma or something like that. But there's one classic herb. There's a classic for the stone breaking. Just look up Stone Breaker and find a good brand. C1 to S5. Blood flow, nerve flow. Epigenetics are where we use our mind to reprogram genes. Light therapy is where we can activate the health of the genetic codes in the genes themselves. Left kidney stone. Let's work on that stone. Command points of the brain. Hormone balancing TV 2022. Like I say, that was a video in the library. Okay, Rachel, you're on the list. Or as Steve Martin would say, I'm in the phone book. scene cracked me up. I forget the name of that movie. He was brilliant in it. He's also a great banjo player, which I think is his first love. Okay, let's go over to social media. Somebody has a stomach flu. Wow, that's only the 10,000th time I've heard that. It's really getting around. So we will definitely work on that for you, Sarah. Sorry to hear about your suffering. So Dorothy Marshall, two things. One is that those herbal remedies for ethosvision.com. Number two is methylene blue for wet and dry macular degeneration. And high blood pressure, beet juice, nitric oxide, breathing exercises as well. A research video to prevent HIV/AIDS in women was hijacked by hackers, and I lost a whole site. It was a soap opera video series to reduce risk. Wow, it was pulled down? Oh, you got to download that stuff. Don't tell anybody, but sometimes if there's a really important video, I pull it down into my computer, but don't tell anybody. You might look it up on Rumble, Rachel. So let's continue with the macular degeneration for Dorothy. C3, facial artery for the nerve flow, and the ouch point as well for the energy. And for the eyes for everyone, the liver. Transforming anger into kindness and improving the eyes. So when you say you lost the whole site, you mean the site is no longer available, or you lost your own page? Oh, you lost admin access. Ah, okay. TV17 for high blood pressure. Dell, how you want to train? So Dell is part of the community. If you want to mention anything about the community. Ah, Rachel, I get it. All of those types of things to support prevention financially may be changing. So freedom of speech, different things. There's a big transition going on. A good shake-up. It's a tug of war. People and institutions need a shake-up, but what ends up the focus at the end after the shake-up is really important. And let's do grounding, level 3. So Dell is from our community, and we have constant communication available for our members. And one thing we've done, Dell, is we will alternate one nighttime live session, one daytime live session, so everybody will get one or the other, maybe watch one recording and then eventually see how it goes. But we had an equal vote. We had 1/3, 3 choices, and it was 33, 33, 33, and it was a tie. So we'll work on that. How are the hips and feet doing, Dell? Do you do any grounding? Do you sleep with a grounding mat? This can greatly reduce inflammation for those areas. Or wear earthing types of shoes or strips that you can attach to shoes. So Dorothy, thank you for joining. We'll additionally focus on the heart, GV17 for the blood pressure, and for Sarah, the stomach flu, which is going around. Makes you stronger. Stomach flu, so T1 to T8s, anti-inflammatory. And let's work on the microbiome, T10, 11, and 12. And let's begin to work for Dell, tapping for your hips and feet. You have a mat and bed sheet, but it overs to me. Oh, okay. Yes, that does make sense, Dell. That's a shame because it's usually pretty good for inflammation, so you definitely have to tolerate to lower the dosing, I guess. What you can do is get one of those timers for your plug, and maybe you can turn it off and try 1 hour, then 2 hours, then 3 hours, or turn on later. Maybe that's a way you can dose it, you know. Earthing mats and those types of things are antioxidants, electrons grounding to the earth while we sleep. You're welcome, Sarah, for our help all the time. Continue on a little bit more of the microbiome for you. And the microbiome from the back, T10, 11, 12, and CV4. And let's go hip to hip from the front for Dell. And hip to hip from the back for Dell. And then down the legs to the ouch point to the feet, both feet for Dell. Okay, cool. Cool beans, as they say. I learned from a New Yorker. And let's take a quick look to see if there are anything's coming up. Chanca Piedra. That's it. Boom. That is the stone-breaking herb of the century. Especially from South America. It's been around. They know what to do. Chanca Piedra. I think that's how you spell it. Yep. And let's continue. Let's tap for Al. Yeah, Dell, I'm thinking more if you did it for even 1 hour and then watch, of course, your schedule is extremely difficult, and then watch the sunrise, sunlight, those two things, or it's freezing, of course, but if you were outside touching the earth at sunrise, that's quite profound. So let's tap for Al, breathing and cognitive clarity. So 3 blood supplies to the brain. Carotid artery, sky window, vertebral artery, and the occipital artery, cognitive clarity. Methylene blue is a recommendation for Alzheimer's, dementia, as well as cancer. I think it's very safe. I used it for my mom up until the time she passed at 98 a few months ago. Breathing and cognitive clarity. Squamous cell carcinoma in the lymph. So my first 2 things for cancer are herbs from First Nations, black salve, Essiac tea. Number 3 would be alkaline diet and oxygenation, or alkalizing. So number 1, herbs. Number 2, alkalizing with hyperalkalizing like baking soda or a medical grade pH adjust, megahydrate, oxy powder, and diet. Part 2. Part 3, if interested, is also ivermectin and fenbendazole. So that 3-part approach is very effective. Cognitive clarity, GB13, right side for great stranger. So Faris, would your mom be interested? Would she do a relaxator breath device? Is she up for something like that? I've had people that would wake up with panic attacks at night, and it solved that problem. So with all cancer, more oxygen, less cancer. More alkaline, less acidity, less inflammation, less cancer, less disease. A venous ulcer, where would that be located? If you could tell me, great stranger. Wouldn't it be great if we had a meeting? Hello, I'm great stranger, and I'm talkative creature, and I'm blissful habitant. I have a feeling the people of Atlantis had names like that. And Edna, do you have the link for the free discovery calls? We could start there. If you don't, email me and I will send you that link right away. Get you started. Yeah, Dell, I don't want to just, it seems to be, I'm speaking with Dell about dosing technique to understand the earthing, because it's really good stuff. If it's overstimulating, maybe try a different plug. That's number 1. And start off with 1 hour, then 2 hours, then 3 hours, and you will find your right balance. And then it will start to help with your hips and your feet for inflammation even more. If it's overstimulating, the body's having a low tolerance. So you have to, like herbs, you graduate it into the body. So let me know how that goes. So let's work on a cancer protocol for everyone. Like I say, those 3-part processes: First Nations, Native American herbal therapies, number 1. Number 2, alkaline and oxygenation, number 2. And number 3, ivermectin or fenbendazole, very specific tubule disruptors. Remember, ivermectin won a Nobel Prize, not specifically for cancer, but for the same mechanism that's being utilized for cancer. So blood flow to the brain. And okay, so oxygen protocol. So 4 things. Number 4 is Tongren, because that's a superpower. That is a quantum healing, as somebody was mentioning earlier. So in the lymph, so we need lymph drainage. So there's a book called The Cancer Answer for people successfully reversing cancer with a rebounder. Because of the stagnation in the lymph, these types of squamous cell carcinomas can form. If you do the rebounding, it will accelerate detoxification. It will increase circulation in the vessels and alkalize. So there's a book, see if I have it here, The Cancer Answer. And let me see if you did answer about the Venus right ankle. So I would definitely put castor oil pack with frankincense on that area. Wrap it overnight. Alternate that with clay packs and clay poultices also overnight. So oxygen, phrenic nerve to the diaphragm, oxygen capacity, and lung 1, lung 2, quick lymph tune-up, head and neck from the sky window, axillary lymph, heart 1, inguinal lymph, spleen 13 and 14, and the lymphatic duct to release and encourage lymph circulation and drainage. There's also an herbal remedy called pokeweed. Good company called Hawaii Farm. And grounding to liver 3, but especially more in the lymph T7, spleen, and T3 for the lymph. Liver 3 and kidney 1. Okay. And there we go for Faris and Great Stranger. These might be translated to First Nations names. Wakes up with a headache. Yes, I would definitely, that seems to be a thing. Let's know the time, because that's when certain organs come online from a circadian rhythm perspective as well. But definitely the relaxation response, resistance breathing, these types of things are kind of brilliant. Oh, I have 2 of them because I lost one and then I bought it. Now I have 2. Blood pressure, GV17. Eyesight problems, blood pressure, so C3. Blood flow to the eyes. But in the UK, they have those specific supplements. It's the best ones I've seen in the world, ethosvision.com. They also have distribution, I'm sure, in Europe. Well, they're close to Europe. And then in the US, they have separate distribution centers as well. They're out of stock, but they're back. Ouch point on the eyes for your mom. And let's just take a quick look. Headaches. GB20, classic point for working on the headaches. And T9 for the eyes as well. Hello, Tracy, again, no problem. Strength of autoimmune, particularly related to Hashimoto's and RA, rheumatoid arthritis. So T1 to T8. So as I say, for all cancer, an amazing oxygenating detox. Of course, the clay cleanse is coming up. That's a 2-week program where you have clay, which is the most thorough cellular detox. We send you the clay kit, and then you work on going through that. Quite a profound transformation when people do it. I feel confident, Del, you'll find your dose, and then you'll be able to increase your dose. You find the right balance. And use a mat, unlike I'm not doing right now, use a mat like when you're on a computer or something, but also look into blue light blockers. I don't know if you've ever used those, Del, as well. These glasses, these two, these are partial blue light blockers, and these are really blue light blockers. I wonder if I could actually keep those on there. They have a magnet, but I won't be able to move. I'll do it for a few seconds. Dry eyes and Hashimoto's. C3, 4, and 5. C6, C7 for Hashimoto's, 4. Tracy and Magnificent Pal. T1 to T8 for autoimmune. RA, Hashimoto's, so GV20, the master area of pituitary, hypothalamus. And thank you for joining Mumashari in support and supporting Rachel and everyone. Rachel from Connecticut. Her mom passed. C6, C7. Hashimoto's, tune up. And lumbosacral plexus, hip to hip, left hip and knee for Magnificent Pal. There are specific bulbs, red light therapies for the eyes. I communicated with a company called sauna.space for eye conditions. So red light therapy, herbs, and drops. Those 3 things can really help a lot. Age-related macular degeneration. A lot of eye stuff going on today. C3, 4. T1 to T8. For anybody with any eye issues, look into the negative impacts of blue light from devices. Avoid them if you can. Keep away from EMFs. Remember, the eyes have the most fragile vessels of our entire body, so they're very vulnerable to pressure and other things. Infrared light increases what is called the easy water infrared light, fourth phase of water, so it will increase the charge in your vessels. It increases the blood flow in your vessels. It what makes our blood through our whole body. It's another technique also for high blood pressure, red light therapy, but infrared light therapy. And the ouch point for the eyes and blood flow to the eyes, facial artery. And we got a couple more minutes here. Everything is so red. Whoa, now it's exploding. The response is you assume the ascites is from the tumors in the abdomen and liver, correct? A lot of times it's the liver. So castor packs on the liver, castor packs on the abdomen to release that pressure. I would add frankincense and turmeric essential oils to those. Alternate liver, abdomen each night, back and forth. And Betty's ovarian cancer and kidney health. Blood flow to the brain. Command points of the brain. Command points of the brainstem. For Betty, a castor pack on the belly. And is anybody here familiar with the healing sounds? I'm studying it. I studied it years ago. I'm studying it again. And I want to introduce it to our community, especially the online community with all the libraries and stuff. We will do some of that. So GV20 for hormones, L3 for the hormones, ovarian area. L1, L2 for the kidneys. Love to all as well. Kidneys are about fear, so transforming fear into courage. And let's go back to the Zuckerberg land. So methylene blue is contraindicated for those taking SSRIs. Yep, always consult with your doctor on all of these things. A rebounder rocks. Is that like true? The rebounder is rocking? But no, rebounders are great. Why block blue light? Let's talk about that for a few minutes. So what's the problem with blue light? Let's see here. Let me make sure I got everything. Piedra, cervical cancer, and we got a few more minutes. Hopefully we'll be done in about 3 minutes for people that are in a rush. So blood flow to the brain. At sunrise, the frequencies of the sun can be looked at, gazed for 15 to 30 minutes directly, because the potentially harmful blue light is at an angle or non-existent that it is harmless. Blue light building up slowly from the sun is natural and healing, but it is a signal. It's daytime. If you have a light on at nighttime with blue light, it's signaling to the body it's daytime and you won't sleep. The body has a very clear sleep-wake cycle. So you want to trigger the nighttime shift with black light, with darkness, daytime shift with light. Ideally, with the sunrise sunlight, as I do every morning, I look right at the sun at sunrise. Right now, it's going quickly. Earlier, it's 6:34 this morning, Eastern Time. Blood flow to the brain. Let's work on Mystical Trailblazer. That's a name you won't forget. Blood flow to the brain. Cervical spine, C1 to C7. T1 to T8. And my daughter, who's 10 weeks pregnant, I would definitely consult Nikki, Nikki, Google or search Nikki, quantum biology, children. She's the master on that information. T1 to T8. Deep sleep. T7. Hypothalamus to activate the suprachiasmatic nucleus, especially at sunrise. But GV2022 for hormone balancing, hypothalamus, pituitary, teeth and gums, C3, 4, and 5. There's always a recommendation for coconut swishing, which I have right here. Swish oil from Shivamastu. Guaranteed I said that wrong, but coconut oil swishing for the teeth and gums. T1 to T8 for inflammation, and for fertility, L3, the entire endocrine system. Be strong for that baby. Hypothalamus, pituitary, L3, S1 to S5 to bring stability to that area. S2 and S3, that's what I'm looking for. L2, L3, my mistake. L2, L3, that would be the focus. L2, L3 for stability for the pregnancy, as well as CV4. T1 to T8, head and chest cold. Another one of those flus. H5N1, is it? There's an entire book on methylene blue from Mr. Sloan. It's a very good book for learning about methylene blue. Methylene blue plus near-infrared light amplifies the beneficial effect on the electron transport chain, very specifically. Okay. And tuning forks are great. Healing frequencies, Mystery Hero. Yes. Okay, Sunny Gem. Blood flow to the brain. detox from mold T1 to T8 is Mycozil anti-mold formula from globalhealing.com. Smoke and chemicals causing sinus and lung infections, again T1 to T8. T9, right side the liver for detoxing all those chemicals. Healing from fall on the ice, right knee cuts. So blood flow, nerve flow to the brachial plexus. T7, lumbosacral plexus. Lumbosacral plexus for right side strain. Sorry to hear that. Lots of black ice the last week or so. Lumbosacral, brachial plexus, lumbosacral plexus. Bruised right ribs, that hurts, but only when you breathe. I learned that. I probably had over 10 to 20 dislocated ribs. Bone marrow. Grounding to liver 3 and kidney 1. Ouch point on the right knee. Right side strain. Pain from the neck through the wrist. Looks like you had a pretty serious fall there. Glad nothing was broken. Wrist. Right wrist, I presume, and ribs. T1, T2 for B cells and T cells. Okay, grounding to liver 3 and kidney 1. And we'll do one more round. Mysterious hero, frequencies, tuning forks, brilliant. How do you decide what frequency to use? That's the big question. So the question is, why does Tom have the blue light room for therapy? I don't believe it's actually the harsh blue light of, say, light bulbs. In my house, I have full spectrum lights that do not have this harmful blue light in all my lights everywhere. So at night, if I turn on the lights, no blue light. Don't tell the brain it's still daytime. Tell it it's nighttime, or don't trigger it that way. The blue light, we'd have to check out exactly the frequency because maybe it's violet or UV or something else. So we'd have to see exactly what that was. Blue light does have a highest energy spectrum. It is very, so the question is, I thought blue light has the highest energy spectrum. But if you think of how our body works, you turn on a light, boom, blue light, boom, daytime signals from the sun, slow, fragile, gradual building up into healthier frequencies. And those little intermediate frequencies are also medicines, different frequencies like the tuning forks, specific things. And then at noon, blue light, midday, like light, daytime, cortisol, get going. Then it goes in reverse, slowly. But blue light has been shown to even to be painful or difficult for the eyes, could be a cause of cataracts. So you'd have to ask Tom more about that. So with anything with methylene blue, just a coincidence, we're talking about blue. Methylene blue, contraindicated for taking SSRIs. Always consult your doctor. Look at methylene blue as a medicine. Work with a naturopath or a holistic doctor if you can. So I think that covers everything for today. Let's do our tuning Qigong frequencies. Okay. And speaking of frequencies again, clearing frequency. I think this is 428 hertz. Sorry for being late. Thank you, everyone. Have a good night. Sorry to hold you up later. Didn't want to miss anyone. Have a good night. Be well. Watch the sun. And as the Beatles would say, all you need is love. But don't give up hope. That's your homework. That's your homework. You're welcome, muchly, as well. I think that is correct grammar. You're welcome, muchly. Renee, good to see you. Didn't see your request, but you're included. And I didn't miss anyone. Correct. Renee, good to see you. Yes.